We're gonna fix my dad's brakes, but first, I wanna figure out what all these materials are. Hey Dad, why are you decking the car out? Are the brakes underneath?
Now it's time to take the tire off. This one's gonna be a pain. I get my helmet. Welcome to Fun with Cars.
The rust in the back is holding the tire to the truck. So right now, are we trying to loosen it up? I think we got it. See all those grooves? Are those supposed to be there?
What's that?
All the grooves?
Grooves are bad. They could be okay, but it's getting kind of worn. And if you look at the pads, so right here are the pads.
Whoa.
See there's how much pads left? Compare this to a new one. Look how thick this material is compared to what was there before. That's what actually stops your car.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference. So just so you know, the part that was sticking to the back of the tire, because that rim's aluminum and this is steel, this rust is what actually sticks the tire to the rim. So now we're gonna do one more thing. We're actually gonna change the whole caliper, not just the rotor.
All right, so how do we change it?
Well, it's 2 bolts. First I'm gonna turn the steering wheel so I can get access to the bed of the bolts. And then we'll, first of all, we'll pinch off the brake line so it doesn't leak fluid. And that'll stop from it leaking when I take the caliper off. We have to unhook it from the fitting, which is right there. And then we'll remove the whole thing and replace it with the new one. And next I'm gonna clamp off the brake line. So our brake line is right here.
Yeah.
Actually, this won't be tight enough. And I have to grab something else.
The other clamp wasn't tight enough, so now we're gonna use a rusty old vise.
Okay, there we go. I have to find the wrench for the brake line first.
How did you figure out that your brakes weren't working?
We went to apple picking in Toronto, and when we're stopping on the highway, there's vibration. The vibration is a pretty good sign that your brakes are starting to get tired.
Is that the brake line?
That is the brake fluid. So in order to get the caliper off,
We've got the line separated from the brakes. As you can see, it's dripping a little bit of brake fluid.
but we're not losing much. That's the guy.
Right now we're trying to get the 2 nuts out from the bag. What are those nuts holding in place?
The entire caliper assembly. So this is the caliper assembly.
What's your least favorite part about changing brakes?
How dirty it gets.
Second nut out.
So this, the old brake pad. Old, rusty, and done.
Are we missing pieces on the newer one?
Yep. This spring spacer is not the same as this spring spacer. Oh, well, it looks to be. Maybe we did it wrong. Okay, so what this does, this holds the brakes apart.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
And this
Holds the spacer in place.
got it. So what it does is when you're not braking, to give it a little bit of space, this creates the space that the brake pad needs, or the spring it needs to spring back. And this wire holds the whole pin in. There you go. So now it's gonna push apart the brakes.
How strong are the brakes?
Strongest thing on your car. Yeah, that's right.
So that must mean the wire's pretty strong too.
The wire's not strong. All it's just doing is pushing it away when the brakes are coming. On the front end, not the trailing end.
Interesting. So the actual spring is pretty weak compared to the whole brake.
Oh, it's doing nothing. All it's doing is doing this. At the front, not at the rear, but it's at the front.
Just pushing it up.
Yeah, it's just pushing apart. So to install this, start using the pin. You can find the hole. You need to go around this. The little tabs will go above. Pin's got to go through, and then this wire holds it all in that little hole. Okay, and it has to be on the leading edge. The trailing edge has a screamer. So this caliper is going to be the one that goes on the front over there. So we don't need to remove this cap. Also, this stuff's important. No, this stuff's important. Blue. So we're going to put blue Loctite on the bolts.
What's that going to do?
So if you just put a bolt in a hole, there's a chance it could vibrate out.
Okay.
And you don't want that on a brake job.
So is this stuff like glue?
Best description is this glue. Screw glue. So blue, temporary, red, permanent. Here. So these are the bolts that hold the caliper in. Usually you want to put a line of it. Since this brake, I'm going to do one on each side. So this will have Loctite so it won't come out. Same with this. So that's all that does. Just make sure that these don't come out. Next, we're going to put anti-seize on this for the caliper. So anti-seize, it's this stuff. It's really, really useful. So this is copper anti-seize, one of the best. And what it's going to do, it's going to stop that rusty. So I had a hard time taking the tire off. Let's make sure that that doesn't happen. So you never put it on the threads, but on the surfaces. So this surface.
Why not on the threads?
Well, because you don't want it to the bolts to slip off. So you never want to put this on threads.
Oh, so it's slippery.
This stuff will make sure the rust doesn't glue the caliper to the hub.
That's good.
My clamp doesn't seem to be working very good. But it's okay, we bought extra brake fluid, so we should be good. Okay, next. Nice and shiny and new.
Look at that.
And now go get the caliper. So this is the right side one. So it's going to be holding our rotor. I gotta find my bolts. This is the tricky part.
So we're taking the bolts that we took off and we're putting this thing back on. Well, technically we're not putting it back on. We're changing it out for a new one.
So then, use our wrench. I'm going to see if we rotate freely. Then I'm going to tighten it down a bit more. Just make sure. My torque bar.
So the torque bar, make sure that it doesn't slip out.
Okay, and next we put in our brake line. Well, I gotta get my brake line.
Brake fluid back in place.
The brake line. We have to check the fluid level after we're done. And we have to bleed the brakes.
What does that do?
Well, right now there's air in this caliper.
Oh.
And air is no good because you can compress air. But hydraulic fluid you can't compress.
So what's the difference between hydraulic fluid compressing?
Well, it's like water. You can't compress water in hydraulic fluid. But if you had air, you'd have spongy brakes. This guy's being a bugger.
So air is bad.
Air bad. So what are we doing, right?
We're gonna bleed the brake fluid and and we're gonna see if this gear tube fits. So is this gonna be the new brake line?
The what?
Is this gonna be the new brake line?
No, so what that is, that's gonna go in my container here.
Oh, sweet.
So this is a new setup I bought. And its job is to take the air line out of the, there we go. So this line's in the container. You need an air line. Okay, I gotta put the compressor on too. So instead of me pumping the brakes, this is gonna suck the air. This is gonna suck the fluid out of the master cylinder. Actually, just take the lid off. There we go. Non-sticking of the, you don't want your brakes to not stop. Good to go.
After this tire, we're gonna flip it around and do the next. Are we aligning the tire with the bolts?
Well, right now we're making sure, we're putting it by hand. We're making sure we don't cross thread the bolts. Because it's kind of a bugger to put in, so the tire's heavy. But you don't want to cross thread them, you want to hand start them.
So we're hand starting to get an exact...
Well, we're making sure we're not cross threading the nuts and bolts.
Cross thread?
Yeah, that's when I can show you what a diagram looks like, but see, all bolts and nuts have these little threads. If you don't start them properly, you start them somewhere else, they'll make X's through it and screw up all the threads. Then you have a nut that's stuck. That one started. Last one's a lock nut one.
So what does the lock nut do?
The lock nut is just make sure people don't steal your wheels.
Socket?
This guy. So these will zip in. Just tighten the nuts.
That was pretty fast for a whole brake change.
Whole brake assembly? Oh, it's wrong socket. Now you're doing a star pattern. And what you're trying to do is make sure there's even pressure on all the bolts.
And what happened if they weren't?
Just don't, you just don't want your wheel falling off.
Oh.
Sounds
I thought
good.
they'd be like uneven if the pressure wasn't even.
Kind of. Like
I'm still curious about the lock nut. Do you just need another attachment?
The lock nut? Yeah. So if someone came to steal my tire, they would take all these off. And then they'd be like, uh-oh, how do I take this off? And this ensures that the only way to take that one off is with this guy.
Okay, so they needed the special tool? Or a multi?
Yeah.
Or an attachment, yeah.
And if my tires are really, really worth something, somebody would get a big socket and they would hammer it on there, but we need 4 of the same size. Very difficult to do. And these are just OEM rims. So not worth it. So there you go.
Actually, your rims are pretty clean.
Considering how old this truck is, these are in great shape.
Beautiful rims.
Wouldn't steal them though, they're not really worth it.
So he just showed me how stiff these ones are.
Not stiff, more like how they were tired. Like how this.
Lots of rust.
Well, it's not so much the rust, but these grooves are starting to get deep. Deeper than you like. There's starting to be a little material left. The brakes could have kept going If it wasn't for the vibration, I probably could have ran them. But winter's coming and I'd rather have good brakes.
My dad's gonna flip the truck around and do the other side, but that was changing the brakes on a SUV.
Yeah, 2016 4Runner.
2016 4Runner. Thanks for watching.